Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that. I thought he was Luton boy.
Literally just followed sat nav, and I had no idea where I was going. Took me through town and like, yeah. So
You should have said I would have sent you a postcode or like given you some directions.
I googled the pub.
Yeah.
And then got the postcode.
Yeah.
And then literally considering like losing second home because of the football.
Yeah.
There's so many parts that I have no idea.
Because I'm guessing for you when you come here, it's like town centre and football stadium.
Off the motorway to the football ground, and that's basically most of the places that I go to. But then you sort of go off the beaten track. And So well,
thank you for coming, anyways. And by the way, we're rolling. So hello, everybody. It's me, Luton's Deadpool. This is Luton's Deadpool podcast, and today I've got a very, very, very special guest. I'm so excited. I'm so glad that he said yes to this because I've been badgering him for bloody ages about it. But this is Mark Crowther. You will know Mark because of the exploits he done last year for COYH, cycling all over the country. It was absolutely insane. When I was watching your journey and just seeing the distances you were covering, I just couldn't get my head around it because I get on a bike and I'm done after 10 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So what you did, it was so impressive. But yeah, please, Mark, if you could just tell everybody like who you are, you know, what you're doing, like where you're from, all of that sort of stuff. Give me a little bit and then we'll talk about stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Mark. My passions are Luton Town.
Love it.
Followed them for over 40 years. And I sort of got into cycling about 7 or 8 years ago. So before that, did a bit of running and had a few injuries, and so really just got into cycling as a way of keeping fit. And then I sort of wanted to use cycling as a tool to sort of raise awareness for charities. And so yeah, really my passions are cycling and Luton, and yeah. So like I'm 56. I lived in Milton Keynes like the last 30 odd years. So yeah,
that's you in a nutshell.
That's me in a nutshell, really.
Nah, dude, I mean, like you really undersell yourself. Like I've got to say, you undersell yourself because you're an amazing man. Like from what you did last year, it was just beautiful, and thankfully as well because of what you did, you got heavily rewarded by the club, like by just getting to meet the players and the awards that you've got. You've literally just been on TV as well today, right?
Yeah.
Today, check that out. I've got the exclusive. The guy's here. He's just been on TV. No, you was on BBC Look East, right?
So yesterday BBC Look East did just filmed me. Just wanted to know about what I'm doing next, and yeah, it's just it's. I mean, I'm sort of a bit about my history. So I've like struggled with mental health, and I'm like I've low self-confidence, low self-esteem, and sort of last year, sort of all the exposure and all the attention, it sort of didn't sit comfortably with me, but I sort of grew into it.
Yeah.
And sort of last season's challenge more or less came about with my struggles with mental health, and really the challenge just helped me to sort of take the focus away from me.
Yeah.
Focus on other people. And it sort of helped to develop me, to get me out and help me to come out of my shell, and so yeah, it was just as well as sort of supporting brilliant charities, it helped me personally. It was a massive thing that for me basically
that's so nice. Like that really makes me smile. I know you can't see, but I'm like proper beaming under here because you know I have my own struggles with mental health as well, and when I know that somebody else is going through it, it's like it's really difficult because sometimes the person has to be the one to pull themselves out of it. You know what I mean?
I mean, when you think sometimes like it's even a struggle just to like do daily functions, go and get the milk, go out the house, and I was sort of like working from home. Then they stopped the football with COVID. I couldn't see friends from football, and literally I just sort of it was a struggle just to leave the house. So it's helped me massively, and obviously it's helped raise awareness for charities, and it raised a whole load of money. And
I know. How much did you raise in the end?
So about 16,000. So
oh my gosh, well done, mate. That was absolutely amazing. That is so mind-blowing.
Bonkers, isn't it?
That is absolutely when you must have seen that last figure, it just must blow your mind.
You know what the interesting thing was? I think it was January, and I met Gary Sweet, Luton owner at Birmingham.
Yeah.
And it was about January. He says, "Are you going to double your amount?" And bear in mind, it was about 8,000, and there was only like about 2 or 3 more months to go of the season. And literally, he was spot on. It's like,
well, the guy knows his stuff, right?
He knows his stuff, and I just like thought, there's no way I'm going to double it. And he was like absolutely bang on the mark.
The club have been great with you as well, haven't they? From what I've seen, I mean, you know, they do really look out for the fans that love them to bits, and from what I've seen for what they've done for you, it makes me so happy to see that.
I mean, Luton's my life. It's like 40 years I've been following them, and it's not just football is my passion, but it's not just the football. It's like what the community and what the club have done, and the club have been through hard times. Been on the roller coaster, obviously, nearly going out of business. But the current owners and some of the things they've done for me, I just think you wouldn't get that at any other football club.
No way. Yeah, I totally agree.
What they've done for me, and I almost like the players are like my heroes, basically.
Same.
They're living out my dream, like the dream to like go out on the pitch Saturday, wear the shirt, represent the club. It's just a dream, and sort of like having to get to know the players and just like
that's lovely. I always see like pictures of you guys together, and I'm so jealous, man. I'm like, you're so lucky.
And now I feel so comfortable talking to the players, and
it's nice.
Whereas before it was like,
was it a bit weird? Yeah.
I'm like, felt really uncomfortable. Like, I'm not worthy speaking to you. You're like a legend.
What's Mick Harford like? I'm desperate to know. Mick Harford's my personal hero of mine. So what's he like?
Just to get to know him the last year. Honestly, he's just the most kindest, just down to earth bloke, and obviously he's a massive legend of Luton.
Yeah.
And I think when he sort of announced that he was going through struggling with prostate cancer, he was just like the whole town went to support him.
Yeah.
Because he's sort of been through everything at Luton, like player, manager, a coach. He's literally done everything at Luton. And
I wouldn't be surprised if he was on the physio's table with the boys, giving him a little massage.
And everyone just wanted to like support him. And he was so brave, just sort of telling everyone he had prostate because he wanted to raise awareness. And obviously I supported prostate as well. More a case that like the more people that know about it, if you get checked early, you've got a better success rate of like overcoming it. And just like he just wanted to like stuff that like he does, and he's just so down to earth. I
always hear this about him, like because he drinks in local pubs and stuff, don't he? I've seen him in Wheelwrights.
Honestly, he's like the nicest bloke. I mean, which like if you know about him as a player, he's the most feared striker.
Yeah, I know.
It's like people are like, you don't want to upset him. You don't want to upset Big Mick on the pitch, but off the pitch, he's just like a gentle giant.
Oh man, he sounds amazing. But what was it like? I was at the game when they brought you out on the pitch before the game, and you had a little walk around, and everyone was going crazy for you. I was actually there, and I was trying to get your attention like mad. I was like, Mark, screaming at the top of my voice. You didn't see me because I mean, it must have just been crazy to have that many people screaming at you.
Yeah, and obviously you think like what it's like for the players and like the adulation the players get.
You got the same thing, man.
Well,
if anything, I think you got more that day because when people saw you, I heard people all around me. I was like, oh my god, it's Mark Crowther. I swear to God, for you must be like pinch me, right? But that legitimately happened.
I'm just a bloke on a bike that follows my football club that's done something that's and I just think.
Nah, man, I'm sorry. You undersell yourself so much, Mark. Look, for me, you're a genuine hero, man. Like, you really are. I mean, like, I was explaining to you off camera before we started, but obviously, when I was, like, thinking about coming back, I had a lot of people, like, saying to me, come back, do your Deadpool thing again, and blah, blah. I really didn't want to do it because it is really time consuming, and I didn't really see there being I didn't really see there being much that I could actually do from it. And then I saw you cycling around, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. Every time that I saw the next game, and it seemed like you was going further every time at one point, and I couldn't believe it. And my missus said to me one day, if he's going to cycle up and down the country, you can stand in town with a bucket and shake your bum. So I eventually went back, and the reason it was mostly because of you, like getting to see what you was doing, especially for the charity that I love the most. Like I love Keach to bits. Big up Keach. But to see you doing what you was doing, it made me think, well, if you're doing that, then maybe I could do a bit more. So
I've the other side. I've seen what you've done, and I think like we've inspired each other. It's like
that's sweet of you to say.
I see what you've done, and like the fantastic work you do for COYH, and you do so much for the community that it's like it is inspiring when you see people do stuff.
Well, man, if that's how it works for you, then I'm glad. That's honestly one of the sweetest things that anyone said, because watching you last year, you were my hero, man. You didn't know who the hell I was.
No.
I've been following you for a while, you know, throughout last season, and to have you say that really touches me, man.
One of the things like from last season that I just never. So when I started it, I thought, well, it can't be that interesting, a bloke cycling to games watching the football. But the amount of incredible people I met up and down the country, not just Luton fans, but how I was received by all the away clubs, and
that was so special. Actually,
and the thing is, I've made such amazing friendships that I wouldn't have met. I'd have just been like, no one would have really known me. I've just made amazing friendships with people that will be friends for life, and that's all through of what happened last year.
Yeah, I mean, do you speak to Gaz from Wrexham?
Yeah.
I love Gaz to death, man. Me and Gaz talk quite a bit. He's actually probably one of my first fans, I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know how he found me, but he found me somehow.
He was always at the ground. I met him. Obviously, I sort of bumped into him when I sort of arrived at the ground, and we'd sort of chat. And
he's such a good bloke, isn't he?
Yeah,
because he does a power chair association out in Wrexham, don't he?
Yeah, he does.
Helps the kids out there.
No, he's just incredible. Like,
really nice guy.
To get to the gate. To games from Wrexham is just like
I know, and he actually he travels all that way just for a match, and he goes home.
He's so looking forward to when I cycle to Wrexham.
So. Yeah, because obviously you two can go out on the smash that night.
Well, I wouldn't say the smash, but it'll be great. It'll be great to catch up when I get there. Yeah.
No, to be honest with you, I'm trying to do dry January because I hit it a little bit too hard over Christmas. I'm showing it as well. I've got a bit of timber that I'm carrying after all that time of. But you know, it was quite hard. It was quite hard last month, like going from doing all the stuff I was doing during the day, and now I get home and I'm like, do you know what? I quite fancy meeting my mates up the pub, and do you know, 1-2 pints later, and it's just like, my belly, and I've put on so much. So I've decided I'm going to do some dry January stuff. Go to the gym, get myself fit and ready for this year. You know what I mean? But maybe just go out for some cokes. I don't know.
It's all about enjoying yourself and everything in moderation.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. No, I 100% agree. Please tell me, like, what is your plans for this year? If you can tell me anything at all.
Yeah. So after last year, I sort of obviously like got a lot of positivity out of what I did last year, and then finished in May, and I sort of spent June not sort of in limbo, not really knowing what to do. And then sort of started, I thought, I wonder what the map would look like to visit every ground in the country and everything else. I sort of did a map, and with me, when I get an idea in my head, I always think, right, this is the reasons why I can't do it, but these are the reasons why I can. But it always keeps coming back. But what if? So anyway, July time, I started sort of thinking of how do I follow that. I've still obviously got a lot of momentum from last year, and I thought I really want to do something else that will be bigger, but also that will be give me the platform to raise opportunities and just try and support charities that I want to support, that I believe in, and that I think that could benefit. So obviously it's on the lines of like cycling and football is my passion. And I've got long-winded time to get to it, but basically what I'm doing, so I'm going to cycle to every ground in the Premier League, the Championship, League One, League Two, and the National League. So,
no, you're not.
And I thought well, I might as well throw in a couple more. So I'm doing Wembley Stadium and the Principality in Wales. So,
oh my gosh!
So it's basically 118 grounds in. So basically the whole plan
Yeah.
is that I want to finish at Kenilworth Road on the last home game.
Oh,
so I'll
that'd
cycle
be
into
amazing.
Kenilworth Road on the
Wait,
last
on the last home game this season?
Yeah.
You're joking. When are you starting this?
So basically I'll start on the 5th of April from Carlisle.
Yeah.
So start from Carlisle and then zigzag through the country. So it's basically 2,500 miles.
Oh my God.
In 32 days.
I hope you're bringing ice with you.
So just to sort of try and put some context on it.
Yeah.
So last year, which was the Away Cycle Challenge, that was 3,000 miles spread over 280 days. Obviously, it was the away game, so it was spread over the season. So this is 2,500 miles over 32 days.
Oh my gosh,
so
that just makes me feel unwell.
It's basically... So I basically got 1 day off in the month, and it's basically averaging 75 miles every day for a month, basically.
Yeah. Your legs are going to be like adamantium once you're done. Seriously, man. No one's going to be breaking you after this. Because I hope the whole thing, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, is true. Because if it's not, you're going to be screwed, man.
Yeah. Obviously...
It's going to be so hard. That's going to be a mental challenge just as much as a physical
one. It's the toughest thing I've ever done. So I've done a few crazy cycle challenges. So I actually started back in 2016, and my first ever challenge was, so I cycled to the 18 cricket county grounds.
Oh, right, okay.
So just to put it into context, that was probably about 1,000 miles. I did it over 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And that was like, so I sort of feel like I've come full circle.
Yeah.
So I travelled the country doing all the cricket grounds 7 years ago, and now I'm doing travelling all the country doing all the football grounds. So I sort of feel like I've sort of come full
That is so cool. Are you going to be recording this sort of stuff? Are you going to, how are you going to document it? Because obviously people are going to want to see, like...
I know,
you haven't think about it yet?
I don't have a Go camera, and obviously... The thing with this challenge is I'm financing it myself.
Yeah.
So like nearly 5 weeks of accommodation, I'm financing myself.
Okay, look, with the video stuff, I can help you. We'll chat after this. Okay. I can help you out with that. But trust me, if you've got a good phone, with a decent camera, you're sorted. You don't need nothing else.
So basically, I've actually created a website so that people can follow me. And bear in mind, I'm like the least technically minded person ever. So actually. Are
you proud of it?
I don't normally big myself up, but the fact that I've created a website from nothing is like...
Fair play, man. No, fair play.
So I've created a website, so basically people can track my progress, leave a comment, they can sort of see how I'm going.
Yeah.
And more importantly, you can donate on the website. So
that's really cool. I like that. I really like that. I mean, we should get like an app made or something for you where they can physically have like a little mark, and you can see him going all along the roads. You can just sit there and watch you going down the road.
There's apps on my cycling computer.
Oh yeah.
We can actually track it, but the problem being is it drains all the batteries, and it drains everything so much. And if you're doing a live feed for like 7, 8, 9 hours a day, there's no way that.
Maybe what you could do is you could do it like stops, So you could stop at somewhere like completely beautiful, give yourself a quick 5 minutes, and then just record yourself and just say like what's going on, how you're finding it. Because as it's like when you said that you didn't think anyone would be interested in a guy just cycling space. People really are. They like that kind of thing where people are doing something really hard and then they're telling you what they're feeling like, because it gives you like a story, and people love stories, right? And especially when it's something that comes to personal triumph and hardship, and in the end, some form of glory. And
I mean, a lot of people do a lot of amazing things.
You're one of them, dude.
Obviously, it is a commitment. Also, like the planning, the attention to detail. I mean, so obviously, some days I'm trying to limit it to like 6 grams a day maximum.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I don't know what response I'm going to get from the other clubs.
Yeah.
If there's no response, it's literally turn up to the ground, take a selfie, and move on.
Yeah.
If the clubs are really interested, then
maybe something could happen.
I want to spend time with them, and like if the clubs want to donate, sign shirts, sign boots that I can auction, raise money.
Oh, you got to get Gaz to sort you out at Wrexham, because I know he knows a few people.
I really don't know at the moment. I haven't contacted the club, so I don't know how it's going to be received yet.
Yeah,
and I think it's one of those things where it'll gain momentum once I've started, and so we'll just basically like see.
I'm sure that as things start going and people start hearing about what you're doing, they're going to go crazy for it. But just give me a sec. Let me check that this is still working, because this does turn off sometimes. Yeah, we're all good. We're all good. You won't believe, so you're my 20th podcast so far. So happy 20th anniversary to me.
Brilliant.
But I was supposed to have a young lady called Hina Shafi on New Year's Eve. But we had so many technical problems I can't even explain. Like, you talk about you not being great with technology. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe that what I do and everything, how I'm able to get it online. Like, it is such an arseache every single time. Like, so we done a podcast, and I like to do podcasts for 45 minutes to an hour. Roughly. That's kind of like my time. But we went for 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
And by that time, my phone had died. And the microphones had failed at about an hour and a half in, something like that. So, you just wouldn't believe the amount of problems you have doing this sort of thing. But, yeah, for you to be able to design your own website, so I'm guessing you're just not a tech guy at all.
No, I always work on the theory of, like, sort of on a need-to-know basis. If I need to know something, I'll learn
You'll figure it out,
But I don't like go too in depth, and some of the most simple things I like. I know what I want. It can't be that difficult. It is, because I don't.
Well, you got YouTube now, right? Like, a lot of the answers that I get for what I'm doing with all this stuff is either YouTube or Google. Like, and it sort of solves almost every
And obviously,
single problem.
like, a challenge of this size is using Google and trying to read a lot of books about nutrition and how best to manage the recovery and just like all the planning and stuff.
Have you ever looked at Eddie Izzard and what he done with his marathons?
I heard what he did.
Oh my God, he just started running marathons. Like every day, he was running a marathon every day across. I can't even remember how long it was, but he went from never working out to that. So maybe it's worth checking out. I think he done a documentary.
There's a guy that's just finished, so he basically did a marathon every day in 22.
Oh, right.
He raised £1 million. He literally ran a marathon every day
for the entirety of 2020.
The entire year.
How is that even? When do you get to like eat?
I know. It's just some of the stuff that people are doing. It's I read that. I think actually mine's not that difficult.
No, trust me. Like, this is the one thing, you said it yourself best. You should never try to compare yourself.
No, absolutely.
Because it's really hard not to, though, isn't it? Because
the challenge,
you kind of like. For me, when I've raised a certain amount of money, I do look around and I go, well, it's not that much compared to... And then I have to get out of my head, because as soon as I start saying things like that, I forget, like, for instance, with you, when you was doing your cycling, you reached me, and because of reaching me, inspired me to go and do something else. And so you got to kind of always remember that the figures themselves are kind of irrelevant. You know
I mean, last year I set out to raise £1,000 for the 3 charities, and
that's really good.
And I thought that whatever I raise is money that they wouldn't have had if I didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is that, and you can't quantify, or you can't, in terms of like the impact from point of view of awareness. So whatever you raise, if it, like with prostate, if it makes one person go and get checked than they wouldn't normally have done.
Yeah.
And they get checked early, and hopefully no one does have to go through it. But if they do, and through what I do, it means that one person like gets treatment early enough to have a success rate.
Yeah.
Then it's been worthwhile. If like one person that's struggled with mental health goes and gets help, or goes and speaks to someone, and they're able to sort of get help.
Yeah.
Just by thinking, why would someone cycle to games when there's a perfectly good coach car or train they can get on.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true. It's
So
true.
if it just helps one person, then it's worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely, man.
And
I agree. I
like,
mean, and your reach is insane. Like,
yeah,
you know, whoever I talk to at the football or outside of the football, even people that aren't connected to the club, have heard about you and what you've done. And it's like, you know, this is why I wanted you to come on the show, just as I've wanted like many other people to come on, is because people like you're like larger than life, man, and you've probably not spent much time really understanding that that's like your role now. You know, you're a larger than life guy. There's people to inspire. You've got a big responsibility. You know what I mean?
in terms of being larger than life, I'm probably the least person that's larger than life. It's just I follow my passions. I want to support good causes.
There's not a lot of people that do that though. There's not a lot of people that decide like you know, to say, I am going to do this one thing, and it might not benefit me personally, but it's going to do ultimate good for the world or for a small community or for whatever it is, even if it's just for one person. That mentality is just so unique. And people like you, I find that it's not that it's unique to human beings. It's not. It's a possibility for human beings, but it's unique because people like you don't get showcased enough. I mean, you are definitely with the BBC and with ITV and all of that stuff, but it's like I just feel like the reach needs to be bigger and bigger and bigger. What I want personally is for you to have the ear of everyone.
And part of it is someone says, no, you can, that's not. It's physically not possible to cycle to all the games. You're going to have like middle spring, January, or whenever it's going to be cold, and you can't.
It's going to be one day where you're going to get let down by the weather or by person or
it's almost like you got one person on one shoulder telling you, no, it's just not practical. And the other person, but what a challenge. What if you were able
So what makes you, because obviously I'm guessing you wasn't always like this, where you just like made a mad decision to do something. I'm guessing you was. This isn't like you forever. So what changed for you?
So back in 2016, I think, where are we? Yeah, so basically, like I said to you before, I used to do a bit of running, did the London Marathon once, knees packed in. Then I went to just train in the gym, got bored with that. Then a friend said, oh, why don't you try cycling as a low impact form of exercise? And then I did like a sportive, which is like an uncompetitive event. And I did it with a friend, and it was 59 miles.
Yeah.
And I actually thought I'd climb Mount Everest. and then I thought, but it's so iconic just to do 100 miles, like to do 100 miles on a bike in one go.
Yeah.
And honestly, my thought was, if I just cycle until I find a day or an experience that just puts me off, I'll experience that, then I'll stop because it was just too painful. I just don't want to stop. And I kept going. I kept doing I thought, okay, I've done 100 miles. What else can I do? And I kept challenging myself. And I always like to challenge myself just to be outside the comfort zone.
Okay.
So I thought 100 miles. So basically I kept pushing myself, kept challenging myself, kept doing different cycle challenges. And at one point I thought I could use this as a tool. So basically one of my friends, their daughter had a rare form of cancer and she was only 12 and unfortunately she lost the battle with cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And I just thought, and the charities or the cancer centres that supported them were so good. I thought I'm going to do something for them. So 2016 was when I cycled to all the cricket grounds.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and then I sort of found myself that cycling was a tool that I could do various challenges and raise money and raise awareness. So that started 2016. I did Land's End to John O'Groats.
What's that? I've not heard of that.
It's
John of Great. I think I've heard of that. Actually.
So basically, Land's End is the furthest southest point to the furthest northest point. So you're literally cycling the whole length of the country. Okay. So I did that, and then I did a few through work. So I basically cycled to all their stores around the country. So that was about 700 miles in a week.
Oh wow!
So so basically, I'd sort of done some challenges, and then obviously trying to challenge myself, and then well, my main two passions are football, Luton Town,
Yeah.
and basically sort of bringing you up to speed. Like 2-3 years ago, I was meant to cycle to the last away game, which is Hull City.
Yeah.
Then COVID kicked in, the game got cancelled. Everyone was like had to stay in.
Yeah.
That got cancelled, and I didn't do it. And then I thought, well, what if? Okay, that was the last game, but what if I was going to do every away game in the season? It'd be a different way to get to the games, different way to see it, and so that's when the sort of thought process started. And so the season before, I did the Watford pledge. So basically, I was so desperate to beat Watford, and honestly, I can't tell you how badly I wanted it. And so I basically put out on social media, if we beat Watford, I'll make a pledge. Minute of the winning goal and the shirt number of the guy that scores it. Then James Collins scores in the 78th minute, £94, number 19. So I says, right, make my commitment. I'm going to donate £94. I thought nothing of it. Oh, that will be £94 I've donated to charity. And off the back of that, whether it's the euphoria of beating Watford, so that raised £1,400 just through.
Oh my gosh!
And basically, James Collins has scored the goal. Obviously, this is where the affiliation from the club came in. The club got behind it. Everyone wanted to donate, so I did it for COYH and for Mind.
Okay.
This was in 21. So, and the people kept donating, and it's like I've literally raised £1,400 just by sitting on my backside.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So yeah, and on the back, it's almost like snowballs.
Yeah,
so
like domino effect.
So okay, so a few people know about me through the Watford pledge.
Yeah.
And then the club was so good, they organised a surprise, and they sort of said, "Oh, we just want to come round your house." And unknown to me, they came round with Harry Cornick, and yeah,
that must have blown your mind, man.
Well, the thing is, and
that's been lovely.
And so Stu turns up with Harry Cornick, and it's just like, yeah, I can't believe what's happening. And then and this just sums the club up. It says, "Oh, we've just brought you a gift. We've got you a signed shirt by the whole team just to thank you for what you did."
Oh, that's so nice.
And it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe that I've got Harry Cornick on my doorstep, just randomly chatting. And then Stu, and one of my big heroes was James Collins. So Stu says, "Oh, I've got another surprise for you." So basically, I had a FaceTime chat with James Collins. And the thing was, literally 3 days later, he joined Cardiff.
Oh, yeah.
All my friends were saying, "What did you say to him?" He chats to you. Says, "What did you say to James Collins?" You chatted to him. Yeah. And then 3 days later, he goes and joins Cardiff. It's
mate. Don't. You know, on the Love Luton run that they have, do you know the Run Fest thing? So I went to that to be a steward, and I met Nathan Jones.
Oh, right.
I was chatting to him, and I basically said to him that I love him to death, and he's a legend. Thank you so much for everything done for the club. Please never leave us. I really went heavy at him with that. And then about 3 or 4 days later, he was gone.
Yeah. But the fun thing was, when Harry Cornick came round, so I basically said, "I'm going to cycle to every away game next season." Yeah. And it's like, I've told Harry Cornick. You told him that? I can't now. And I thought nothing of it. And it just proves the connection. I went to a pre-season game at Bedford. Yeah. And Harry saw me, came over, and I thought, well, he won't remember me now. That'll all be gone and forgotten. Literally came over. How's it going? How's the planning going? How's your training going? And everyone connected with the club is so interested in everything that's going on. Yeah. Everyone I speak to connected to the club are just generally interested. They're not sort of asking because they feel they have to. Yeah. They're just
They want to.
They're all so generally interested and generally like wanting me to do well with my challenge.
That's
and
nice.
obviously they recognise that it's a big commitment following the club all around the country anyway, but to cycle there.
Yeah.
And then you sort of hear stories that some of the players on the coach are saying like, oh, it's been a long journey on the coach to get to the game. And then a couple of them says, yeah, but you haven't cycled there. So he even got mentioned on the coach with the players.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which is bonkers. So yeah, that's sort of the background to how like last season started. It's like, I can't go back now. I've told everyone I'm doing it, and then sort of like nervously wait for the fixtures to come out. There's going to be some winners, some losers. You're going to have some winter ones, but yeah. So yeah, I sort of started and basically, like I said, it was like, well, it's not going to be that interesting. A bloke on a bike going to football, it raises a couple of quid.
Yeah.
I'll be happy, and sort of random things started happening during the season that you don't expect, like the people you meet and like random chats with the players. And I kept a journal. I thought nothing of it. I just thought I'll keep a journal. And people said, oh, you should write a book.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, yeah, but will the people really be interested? Anyway, to cut my story short, so I wrote a book about all of last season. It's out in a couple of weeks.
No way!
Yeah.
I'm definitely buying it. Can I get a signed copy as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my days, dude. That is amazing. I'm so happy for you. Well done.
So yes, I mean basically the book talks. I'm sort of quite open about my sort of personal
mental health
struggles.
stuff. Yeah.
But I think, well, if it helps one person, then I don't mind telling it. But literally, I say all, but book's a bit about background as a Luton fan, and then it also, but literally, I go through each away game. I think people saw me turn up at the game.
Do you talk kind of about what happened in the games as well?
Very little. I mean, it's almost like probably giving it away, but it's probably like maybe half a page about the game.
Yeah.
Because the book's more about
like what you was doing,
the journey, and just some of the things,
some of the experiences and stuff.
Some of the experiences that I went through, like the places I got lost in cycling.
I can't wait to read this. I seriously can't.
I mean, whether people find it interesting or not, but literally every away game I document, like getting to the game, cycling to the game, and I do talk about the game obviously because I'm a Luton fan, but it's more about
how are you selling the book? Like, where are you going to be putting it on sale?
To be honest, and this is the truth, I've not written the books. I want to be a bestseller. I want to sell 1 million copies. It's just like my experience of like the whole season, raising the money.
But you're selling the book, right? You're not giving it away for free, are you?
No.
Good. Don't give it away for free. Don't, because it's going to be pure gold.
I mean, the publishers will be selling it. It'll be on Amazon.
Oh, wicked. Well, as soon as it's up, send me the links. Let me promote it for you. Because this has to be, and I'm telling you all now, if you're a Luton fan, right, this is a must-have. You need to have a Mark Crowther book, because if you don't, you're not a real Luton fan. Luton's Deadpool said it is true.
No, but honestly, it's just like, and some of the things like sort of getting nominated for the EFL Support of the Year award.
Yeah, I know, that's amazing.
Like
that is amazing across that entire football league. Like, how mad is that?
How did that even happen?
Dude, I'm so proud that you support my club for that. That makes me so happy.
A lot of part of the reason for the book is that it's a lot of things that I didn't expect to happen during the season.
Yeah.
Some of the people I met, some of the experiences, some of the things that it wasn't just I get up, I cycle, I watch the football, I go home.
Something was always happening alongside,
and there's like so many stories about some of the random things like through the cycling. I won't spoil it.
No, please don't give anything away, because I want it to be.
But no, literally the book is about me, like for the whole season, cycling to games, with a bit about my own personal struggles, a bit of background about me as a Luton fan, but generally, if the book is about last season, really, it's also about what an incredible season the team had.
I know, how amazing
to get to the playoffs. If you think where we are, the size of our budget, everything else, so it's really.
I was there at the Huddersfield home game.
Yeah.
and it felt like roof was going to come off. It was absolutely insane. I wish I would have got up to the away game. At the same time, kind of glad I didn't go. That must have been a bit of a hard one to cycle.
No, it's just a journey of last season as a fan, as my challenge, what I've done, and
do you know what? I would love to see book come out, and then I would love to see like a documentary about you. I really would. I'd watch it. I'd so watch it because you're such an interesting bloke, and like you're so humble with it as well. It's not like a lot of people that do really cool things end up getting carried away with it. Like Sir Tom, right?
Yeah.
So he done loads of great stuff, but then his family done loads of bad stuff around what he had done.
I think to answer that question, you've sort of got to know a bit about my background. And sort of going back to being bullied at school and low self-esteem, low self-confidence, going through depression. I mean, I'm not saying that lots of people have been through a lot worse, but basically low self-esteem. I'm not a confident person.
Yeah, it can sort of block you off from a lot of things, right?
I know it comes across, maybe some people said, oh, you don't come across as not having any confidence. But basically, I'm not receiving compliments easily. So everyone says, oh, you're so humble. I says, well, I'm an average normal bloke. I've no reason not to be humble.
Yeah.
So that's just sort of why I am what I am, in that I always like the perception people have of me and everything else. That's why for me, it's like I've got no reason not to be humble. I'm only just like a normal bloke.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's sort of like why I never think anything else. And like when some of the players like Jordan Clark was like, oh, you're a hero to all of us. It's like you don't understand. You're
my hero, right? Yeah, I know.
You're my hero. So you're living out my dream by putting on the shirt and going out and playing. So when I was at school, you know how I don't know if you know this, but when you're at school and everyone picks a team, you all stand in a line and like people pick who they want in the lines for their team. I was always the last one.
I
was so bad at football. I was always the last one that people wanted to. Okay, we've got to take him. Where are we going to put him on the team?
Yeah.
So you watch the players that are also genuine, down to earth, approachable, such nice people, but they're also very talented to be able to be a professional footballer, and that's why I hold them in high esteem.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I've got zero natural ability. Things that I achieve, just dedication.
You have to work hard at.
Desire. I really have to put it in.
That's more impressive, if anything, man.
There's a
do you know what I mean?
There's a saying in football that hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah,
Such a cool saying.
It is. It's so true.
I've got zero natural ability. I'm just not good at anything naturally. So like having to work hard and having to train and condition and preparation and all the other things. So everything I just do is just basically through.
Well, I think like the majority of people aren't really naturally talented. Most people do have to work hard to get things, but a lot of people decide not to, and they live in comfort, and they decide that they're not going to. Is that your phone?
Sorry.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let me check mine to make sure that we're still rolling anyway. Yes, we're doing great.
Excellent.
We're doing great.
But no, it's like I'm saying, it's like I'm just, whether I'm stubborn or I'm just so disciplined that when I put my mind to something, it's like someone said, oh, well, if the weather's bad last year, you can, well, even like Hull. So if you take Hull as an example, so I got COVID the week before Hull away, and I didn't have the negative test.
Yeah, so you couldn't go
for the game. So I couldn't go for the game. So then the week after the whole
you still went. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Because I remember when you missed it, I was like, oh, he's missed one. It was like, out of the whole bloody season, he's going to miss one. And then you still went just to prove a point. I love it.
It wasn't to prove a point. It was almost like, right, I said I'm going to cycle every week.
Yeah.
But luckily, the week after was an international break, so there wasn't any
so you had a little chill.
So I got the negative test, and it's like, no, I said I'm going to do every game, and like I'm going to, one way or another, whether it's stubborn or just undetermined.
Yeah.
But so I literally I didn't see every game, but I got to every ground basically.
No, that's good, man. That's good. And like, I really do think that what you did was so important. And it's like what you've done is we're building like this giant blanket in Luton at the moment, right? Like where it's a loving blanket that we're trying to wrap around the whole town. And the only way that we can wrap it around the whole town, keep the town warm and keep the town safe, is by people adding their patches, yeah? And not just one patch, adding a couple of patches here and there, doing good acts and being positive and showing people that you can be more, like no matter where you're from. And there's going to be little kids who saw your journey, and like I see you smile because I know you know what it means what you're doing to them. Because if you was a kid and you heard about a guy that was doing what you was doing, what would that have done for you? Do you know what I mean?
My one of my attitudes is like, one of my things is never quit, never give up, no matter how hard it gets. You go through tough times, and for like last season, it's okay. So what excuse would be, not just last season, but in my life? So what excuse would be acceptable for me to give up on something or to quit? And it's just my sort of mantra basically, that I never give up. It's like, I'm not the quickest, I'm not the fastest, I'm not multi-talented, but
You're not going to stop trying.
no, I mean, I can. One thing is, I can accept people being more talented than me. I've accepted that all my life, that everyone is more talented than me. But when I put my mind to something, yes, people be more talented than me, but like.
But then, like, I mean, if you say about more talented, then like, what do you mean by talented? Because I think that your talent of hard work is a talent. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, but I mean, it's like, for me, I'll accept that people are more talented than me. I won't accept that people can be more determined than me when I put my mind to something. And I try and compensate for my lack of natural ability. I mean, I used to play pool to an okay standard, but basically I had to make up for my lack of ability just through hard work and
training.
Dedication. That's just my whole approach to everything, really. Just, I think, being the best version of me that I can be.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's exactly what I think I've always strove to try and be, because as a kid, I played football quite a bit, and I actually had trials at Stevenage.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, man. I was pretty good. I was pretty good, right? But then I broke my coccyx, and then I fell into a really bad group of friends, and I just wasn't a good kid for a big period of time. During the peak, like, sort of going and playing football, I just slacked off, and I didn't bother anymore. And it was a laziness thing. That was my problem. It was a laziness problem. So, I've really tried, like, in more recent years, when I've been able to turn things around and get things going in a positive way, to,
definitely.
my belief is the same as yours. Nose to the grindstone. Work as hard as you can. You get results from it. It's, there's some days where I've been out and, oh man, I'm like, I've told people I'm going to be out for 4 hours, right, in the suit. And
you always feel you don't want to let people down.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've said, I'm going to be in town between 11 and 2, or 11 and 3, or 11 and whatever bloody time, and I'm going to be there. And it gets to, like, say 2:30, and I'm like, oh, I'm really dying in here. I think I'm going to go home now. And then I see a little kid come over, and they're all excited. And it's like,
nobody would.
It's
you
just
make a massive commitment. But one of the things on some of my cycles is, I never want to do anything and think I could have done better or I could have done more. It's on that day, that cycle or whatever I'm doing represented my best effort. Always give 100%. Yes, it might not have been the best ride, or things might not have gone right.
Might have been a bit slow or whatever,
at the end of the
you've
day,
still done
that
it.
day represented my best effort. I might be better next time, but at the end of the day, I never wanted to have a conversation with myself that said, well, I could have done more or anything else. It was my best I could have done for that day. And it's not just cycling, it's just everything. And that's just sort of mindset I try and have with just sort of general stuff, but also with challenges that And I know there's going to be days on this challenge where
it's going to be hard.
It doesn't go as planned, and I've made a commitment to get to this ground and everything else. But I know there's going to be challenges, but that's all part of the.
It's part of the fun and the adventure, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So just to like kind of wrap this up, then, because I've honestly I've had such fun talking to you.
No,
It's been so long and overdrawn out. Like we've been waiting to talk for bloody ages, and just paths have never crossed. Do you know what I mean? But, so thank you firstly for coming out here.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Just chatting to me. It really means a lot to me, Mark. It really, really does. From the bottom of my heart, man. Like me and my family have followed you for ages. My daughter is going to be so excited because she plays for Luton Ladies.
Oh, does she?
Yeah. We're a massive Luton Town family, man. She plays for Luton Ladies. She's a winger, and she's going all the way. She's so bloody good.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't tell you her name or anything, so watch out for her. But one day she will be a player, so you'll see. But her favourite player is Harry Cornick. So when she saw you with Harry Cornick, when I saw you at the game, she was with me, and we were just both going crazy. We couldn't believe it. Like you was so close, and then was Harry, and it was just absolutely insane. But so it really means a lot for me to be able to meet you and to be able to tell her, because you're inspiring her just as much as you're inspiring me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like I say, we inspire each other, because obviously I'm just so impressed with what you've done. And
thank you, dude. I really appreciate that.
And like you do so much for the community, and like you're out there everywhere in all the weathers, and I think we inspire each other.
It's like we're going to push each other to do more and more, right?
Yeah,
that's where it has to go, man.
Definitely. At the end of the day, if we can like support great causes, and like I said to you before we started chatting, it's just, at the end of the day, just trying to make a difference, trying to make people's lives better, whether it be supporting the charities, or if someone gets inspired and it helps them. So if that happens, then
that's a win, right?
Yeah. Can I plug the website?
Yes, please do. Yes, please do. Talk to the camera. Tell them all about it.
So, if you want to follow my challenge, you want to see what I'm doing, or if you can donate, it'd be very, very much appreciated. But my website is Mad Hatter Mark, bigbikechallenge.co.uk. So even if you want to leave a comment, and
I'll do that. I'll put the link underneath. As you say that, it will be like here.
Excellent. So but by all means, take a look. I'll be updating the website and as I go through the challenge. So by all means, it'd be great to hear from everyone. And like with last year, it was the people that made the challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
The people, the generosity, the kindness of everyone. If it was just me cycling to games, it would have been half the enjoyment.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously the generosity from everyone. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, Mark. You're an absolute champion, and I really look forward to your book.
Excellent.
To your journey. I'm so excited. People of Luton, like I said, if you don't love this guy, if you don't support this guy, you're not a Luton Town fan. That's how we're going to end it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mark. See you later, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, dude, you was awesome. I knew it.